Today I'm going to be looking at the Wachowskis' 2008 classic Speed Racer, now finally arriving on 4K UHD in this limited edition steelbook release. This is a film that I absolutely adore, and I know it was dismissed by a lot of people when it first came out. Viewers found it too bright, too artificial, too loud. But that is the whole point of the film. It's trying to feel like animation exploded into live action, and in 4K, that whole candy coloured world, hyper stylized world finally gets a presentation that really helps it to shine. Directed by the Wachowski siblings, Speed Racer is based on the classic anime. Now, it's something that I was not knowledgeable at all. I'd seen the odd element of it, and it wasn't something that I had a deep love for. So going into this, I didn't really know much about it the first time around. It's about the young Speed, a gifted young driver, obsessed with racing and haunted by the legacy of his brother Rex Racer. Speed drives the Mach 5 for his family's racing team, but when he's approached by a corporate racing world, he discovers that the sport that he loves is controlled by these rich, affluent people, fueled by corruption, fixed results, and powerful sponsors. So underneath all the colour and chaos, it's actually an incredibly simple story. A young man trying to protect the purity of something that he loves from people who want to turn it into a product.
You poor naive chump. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that load of sickening schmaltz.
And what makes this whole film work is that it never apologises for what it is. It's not live action realism, it's not a gritty reboot, it's not embarrassed by the source material. The Wachowskis fully commit to a film that feels like it should be a cartoon, a racing anime, a video game, a family melodrama, and an experimental blockbuster all at once. And that commitment is why the film, for me, has still aged so well. At the time, people looked at it with the artificial backgrounds, the digital environments, and they thought it looked fake. But that's the point of the movie. It's not supposed to be realistic. The world, the film is not trying to convince you that this world is real. It's trying to convince you that the emotions of the characters within the world are real.
Oh yeah! That's my boy!
I think one of the key things about this is the casting of Emile Hirsch as Speed. He plays him with total sincerity, and I think that is incredibly important. If anyone in this film had winked at the camera or treated the material as a joke, the whole thing would collapse like a house of cards. Speed is simple in the best possible way. He loves racing, he loves his family, he wants to honour his brother Rex, and he wants to win without selling out. Done. That's the character, and Hirsch plays it completely straight, and that gives the film its emotional centre. And around Speed, we get the family dynamic, and the Racer family at the heart of this is just wonderful. They are the heart of the film. John Goodman is Pops, a kind of man who has this warmth and stubbornness, this kind of stoic and old school working class pride to the role. He's not just comic relief, he's the driving force, trying to keep his children on the straight and narrow as much as the cars. You get Susan Sarandon as Mum, who is the kind of emotional calmness of the film. She's got this beautiful speech about watching Speed race, and it's one of the most sincere moments of the film. You get Christina Ricci as Trixie, the love interest. She's also part of the team, and she plays a big part in the film, and she's a key element of the emotional rhythm of all. Then we have the absolute wonderful Spurtle and Chim Chim, who I think are absolutely fantastic. I think the young actor who plays Spurtle is terrific. His line delivery is just fantastic, and he just brings this kind of energy and fun nature to the film. I can understand some people maybe finding it a little bit grating. For me, I absolutely love these characters, and whenever they turn up, they're just pure fun and absolute joy.
Hey, what are you two doing?
Nothing.
Was that the same nothing that broke my last couch?
No, that was a totally different nothing.
The visual style of the film is completely bonkers, and I mean that with the sort of highest compliment. The film uses colour in the way that most blockbusters are terrified to do. Everything just pops, cars glow, tracks bend reality, backgrounds blur into neon abstraction, faces are layered over movements like comic panels. The way they have these transitions throughout the film are wonderful. It has this momentum within the film, making itself, it's never still, it's constantly moving, and it's constantly not taking any kind of beat whatsoever. It's just sequence. Sequences overlap each other in a wonderful fashion. It's not realistic, it's designed, and for me that's why it's building up to becoming a cult classic. The racing sequences are ridiculously over the top. From the opening sequence where you get the race there, you immediately know how you're watching this film. You're not supposed to process it like a normal car chase. You're supposed to feel like memory, emotion, momentum and spectacle all happening at once. The races aren't just about who crosses the line first. They're about a bunch of various vying emotions within our characters driving them forward. And that's what makes the end race so powerful, so exciting. He's not just trying to win at the end. He's proving that his way of racing, his family, his ways of racing still matters in this corporate world fueled by greed. I can understand why Speed Racer didn't do well at the time it came out, 2008. You look at some of the other family movies that came out, you had Iron Man came out at that point, The Dark Knight, it was a little bit gritty, a little bit darker. Audiences maybe weren't primed for a giant neon family friendly anime film, but I think it's bold, I think it feels personal, and the filmmakers are making active decisions to make this the way it looks and feels. Now the 4K release is absolutely stunning. Like I said, the colour in this thing is incredible. The digital textures, the high speed motion, everything just looks great. The kind of contrast between glossy and artificial environments and human faces just looks amazing. This is the kind of thing that's designed for a 4K disc, and it looks incredible along the way. Now I picked up this limited edition set which has the steelbook in here, which is absolutely stunning, and a little box of extras as well. So we have 2 posters included here. We have a set of colourful art cards and a book, The World of Speed Racer, which is as colourful of the film, full of great information, and it's just a nice addition to this release. Of course there's a bunch of extras on the disc as well, so let's dive in and have a look at those. Here we are in the disc for Speed Racer. First up we have Spurtle in the Big Leagues, which runs for 14 minutes 34 seconds. In this one we go behind the scenes with actor Polly Litt as he tours the set and meets the crew of Speed Racer, and he shows some of that fun characteristics that he has within the film as he does these little skits and moves about and meets people who made this production. Next up we have Speed Racer Supercharged. We meet the drivers of the World Racing League and get an up close look at their cars and the tracks that they run on, and this is 50 minutes 45 seconds. It's a CG heavy element as we see the kind of models of the cars, all the strange contraptions that they had built into them, the racing teams and some of the drivers. Next up we have Speed Racer Car Fu. See how some of the most intense car races ever were put in film without a single real car. This runs for 27 minutes and 10 seconds, and it is extensive. We have a host of familiar names and faces coming up to tell us what they were attempting to achieve here, how they tried to take the realism out of it, creating these incredible cars that could do almost fighting moves through the air or well on the track, and giving examples of that and showing how they created these visual elements. Finally, we've got Speed Racer ramping up, which is 9 minutes 58 seconds, and is like a talking head promotional piece, just to kind of give a flavour of the movie, talking to all the main characters, giving them a little 30 seconds just to talk about their character or their joy of Speed Racer. Also on the 4K disc there is Speed Racer, Wonderful World of Racing, The Amazing Racer Family, and that's the extras for Speed Racer. So there we have it. Speed Racer is out in 4K now, and is something that I would absolutely recommend picking up. If you missed it when it came out, expect saccharine, sweet, colourful, candy, floss world, but it's awesome in the way it delivers that. I was looking through the press kit that I had here that had all kinds of information about the film, and it's to see the genuine excitement, to read some of the interviews that were there, to look at some of the promotional material and how they were planning to bring this one forward, and it just never quite landed. But that's the great thing about film. It's the chance to reappraise something, look at it going back and realise it was a lot better than what was first received. In fact, kind of disappointed we didn't get sequels to this, but hey ho, that's the way it goes. I would love to know your thoughts on Speed Racer. If you saw it at the time, if you've just seen it recently, if your thoughts have changed or been reaffirmed, let me know in the comment box below. As always, there is more content up here where you can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com, always, in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.